team and through all these different iterations of this roster going back to the EG days as well, towards the pinnacle of North American Counter-Strike, never quite getting there. But we can get up to the 51st floor of Vertigo now, actually start watching this matchup begin and unfold before our eyes. Here we are. CT start for NRG, Raid Boss, dual Berettas for Nitro. OC has the utility, that's 2 flashbangs, no kit for the CT side. 2 pieces of utility here, 2 players with pieces of utility for Wildcard. Double smokes, flashbangs for Stanislav. Fozy has the molly. And USP is ready to receive this A-take. A blind player up towards side hall is somehow still alive as Susp eats all that damage but doesn't die.
Body shot to Summit, inadvertently covering him as well, albeit not taking any damage for it. Susp now very close to death as they just fall into the site. It's actually Susp and Sonic, though, to find both kills to open up this site. Breeze and Hex answer with pairs of their own, or one of their own. Fozy finding Breeze does regain the advantage, but time is of the essence. As you mentioned, no kit in play means this retake has to be rather quick. Good jump up from Nitro. The veteran IGL with the dualies in hand finds one. The flank is good, but will it actually connect the shots is the question. Stanislav has been spotted. JBA has as well. Hex drops JBA, and Hex finds them both. In fact, 3 on the round for him, 1 for Nitro and 1 for Breeze. NRG make the retake work in spite of their early losses.
Yeah, but they do let the bomb go down, and they do lose 3 players, which means we can see a Wildcard forcing into round 2. Or they save and get much more utility into round 3, but it looks like the former is the call they make. A Scout for Fozy, a MAC-10 for Susp, Galils for Sonic, and a JBA. Stanislav will go for utility. That makes sense given his role on the team with a Tech 9 and armor behind that. Fozy sells the Scout and goes for the Galil, and I really like that move. I think it's a smart decision. And speaking of smart decisions, look at NRG. 3 FAMASs here, preparing for this anti-rifle buy. Helmets across the board. The utility is not great. No flashbangs except for the one on OC. And a short technical pause has expired. But this is an NRG team which is going all in anti-rifle. They're expecting the force in full effect. This is essentially the first gun round of this game, and it comes in round 2.
Scrappier than most gun rounds, but it is a gun round nonetheless, I would agree. MAC-10 and Tech 9 to round out the rifle buy. I guess you can call the Scout a rifle. Fozy has that gun in hand. It's going to be lackluster utility for both teams. A little bit more painful for the Wildcard side, though. Where are they grouping? It looks like they're outside B, rather passive. The Scout does good damage onto Hext early on as well. But that's on the other side of the map. Just showing presence, keeping this NRG defense spread. When will the take come through is the question. They have bottom stairs control now. There's only smokes remaining for NRG. 2 now, as one is thrown at those B stairs. 2 FAMASs ready to stop the take if necessary. Stan flanking again through middle. It's a top ladder. NRG very slow, very passive. Standard holds as they wait for this Wildcard take to come through. First piece of utility used for the T side. I thought I saw a flash or a smoke being thrown. Not the case. Stanislav instead will start it off. Molotov at A. Throws the fake. Now the walk up B will come through.
That damage to Hex can play a part, and Breeze is taken down. Nitro holds strong from the half wall, but he goes to a trade 1-for-1. Man advantage maintained by Wildcard as they scale up, tossing their utility in. Automatic around green. That second flash is huge. He has a friend right there with him, but he falls. OZ1 needs more. Tagged, not bagged. Fozy caught through the smoke. OC rather making this a chance, and JB has to wait for Stanislav to come up close to get that bomb down. Low HP factors in as it's Hext, who was down early and falls in the end. Stanislav with the last 2 grabs a bit of extra money. M4s to Wildcard, and the force buy plays dividends. It's NRG's turn to go for a force buy as they're all under 2K besides OC.
Very solid rebuttal from the likes of Wildcard. They know the NRG camp is going to be low on money. Knows they're likely going to discard the helmet. So Susp picks up a back 10 to harvest a bit of cash. There are 2 AKs to round of the buy to really make sure that this round goes in their favor. 1 Deagle, 4 5.7s, and a little bit of utility dashed in. No kit. They're going to try to win this by kills, by attrition. Wildcard probably going to play a little bit slow, try to suss out where this potential stack might be coming through.
Smoke towards B gives information. Utility going up, but no further push. Stan is hoping people try to push through mid. Wildcard are hoping for this aggressive stance from NRG, but it's not happening. NRG are playing this well with the pistols, forcing Wildcard to close the gap, not letting them take advantage of the range they have with the AKs and the Galil or the M4s. The MAC-10 will have to lead the charge, but around a corner, a 5.7, much more lethal at short range. Hex spots out people, calls for help, as that smoke will give him a little bit of space. Sonic pushes in, and actually team kills Susp, who walks right in. Sonic stinked as well, and this is how rounds like this fall apart for teams like Wildcard on the heavy firepower advantage. Around the smoke, though, JBA, one big one. Might have spotted another around triple stack as well on site. JBA drops another smoke as he gets harassed by Hexto on the flank. Nitro strikes. Stanislaw one, but only one. He's 1 HP essentially in this 1 versus 2 with 20 seconds to go. As a smoke he'll use the bomb on his back. Taps it, holds it, and gets the bomb down. But this is so difficult for him, especially with OZ working around. And he'll stab him in the back. And something tells me, Nate, that we're going to see a force buy from Wildcard.
Yeah, the issue with the force buy for NRG is the simple fact that Wildcard are going to get the bomb plant more likely than not in these scrappy rounds, and that really helps out their economy, helps out their force buy aspirations. Bozy and Stanislaw can buy Kevlar and Galils, as can Sonic. So these rounds will still have teeth, even more so than the 5.7s. Now, NRG, applause to them. Played it very well. As you mentioned, just staying postured in the close angles. Was that 2 sets of team damage? It was. It was 2 teammates dinked by that blind player in Sonic. But back to what I was saying, NRG playing confident, sticking to their guns, sticking to their close angles, not getting called out in rotation, and instead playing up close and personal. Those 5.7s are very scary if played correctly, and they were played to perfection in round 3. Wildcard, as I mentioned, still a very solid buy. They let scout again for Fozy, had good impact before. 2 Galils on Stan and Sonic, and a pair of pistols on JBA and Susp. NRG don't have a helmet on Hex. That could prove to be a problem. Well, maybe not. He's already tagged down to 54, probably by a nade. He smokes B. Very passive hold from Generator, though. Not trying to hold the site proper. Wildcard. So they're just throwing a bit of a fake. Already falling back, looking elsewhere. They've used a lot of the time in most of these rounds thus far, barring that pistol round rush, but really do bide their time on the T side.
This is something that Wildcard might pay for as well. This slow, methodical, meandering pace. Goes that elevator smoke, utility flying in now, but kills like that can turn the tide. JBA trades it, but takes so much damage in the interim. Tries to get that bomb down. The nade will not finish him up. Nitro instead from L. It's a big kill to stop the bomb plant. 15 seconds to go. Automatic now. Sends Susp to the grave. Fozy and Sonic have to make a move. Stay alive and save or die, and Sonic elects the latter. Fozy now is trying to run in and die before time expires. He'll be successful. The force buy wars are over as soon as they begin. And NRG reigned victorious. 3 now, what should be a 4-round-to-1 lead for them. As Wildcard no bomb plan means no buy. And at this point, too, for Wildcard, it's about time to try and get the full rifle complement in your hands. Get Fozy on an op if you can. this is going to be an easy one for NRG, unless something goes horribly wrong, which we have seen a few times in this playoffs.
Did we see a USP round victory?
We saw it was a USP with a Deagle and a couple of P250s, I think.
Did see one of those at least, yes.
There was no armor, and it won.
NRG, the issue for Wildcard is that they just kind of stick to their guns. They hold, they don't get overly aggressive, and that means you can't really fake them out. You can't really bide your time. You're only getting a little bit of utility out of them. They still have their nades to pop the smokes as required. That round's over in the blink of an eye. As you mentioned, it was going to be clean, or it should have been clean. It very much was. All 5 surviving, no bomb plant. Comprehensive shutout at the AM. Good dink on automatic. Actually a double dink, in fact, but he survives. 4-1 early lead, early start for NRG. They chose to start on this defensive side for good reason. Now Wildcard have guns. They're lacking a bit of utility, and they don't have an op. They're going to change up the pace, get aggressive at the B stairs. Both teams are, and it simply favors NRG, at least for the moment. 4 versus 2. Stan and Sonic find themselves down by a pair with less than 20 seconds being gone from the round. They'll group up and look towards A ramp. But again, 2-man down, and not much utility between them to work with.
Yeah, Flash is smoking a Molotov. Yeah, they have Sonic. But things are not looking good for Wildcard here. NRG have seemed to get a very strong read of what Wildcard do. And Wildcard appear to be bashing their heads against a rock. They're going to use all 3 pieces of utility very early to try and get some sight control. The nade blows the smoke away. Hexed peeks, doesn't see anybody. It goes back up, sees Stanislaw Cross. He knows what's going on. But Automatic's flank should ruin the day regardless of all this happening. 1 onto Sonic. Stan only gets 1 as OC trades out Hexed. And as soon as this one begins, it's just about over. Bomb plant's nice for Wildcard, but at some point, nice is not good enough. They need rounds on the board. Their 1 round coming via force buy is a concerning sight. And expect a timeout into the next gun round, or even here. Which, never mind, that was a... believe they called it a tech? And now, yeah, they called it technical on accident. And they'll call the tac timeout here. Talk things over. And maybe even debate going for a force buy, but that would not be a prudent move.
No, they have 3,500 in the bank. It's not the best. Also not the worst. Probably a half buy. Yeah. With the loss bonus at this stage. Makes sense. Some Tech 9s, some Kevlar. A little bit of utility and a change of pace. Something quick. Maybe over towards A side hall. Maybe over towards B stairs. Although that got dismantled in the round prior. See exactly what they decided to go for here momentarily. The pause has concluded. I thought it was going to be a half buy, but it's kind of all over the place. Susp has bought an AK with only body armor, no helmet. Stan is buying utility P250 armor. Okay, that's a half buy. Fozzy's staying at 3K to get an op in the round following, but this hero rifle for Susp definitely raising at least my eyebrows for the time being.
Yeah, that's a bold move, Cotton. We'll see if it pays off for him.
Is he lurking with it too? He's just holding bottom B.
He's lurking B stairs when he should be that second man in to trade out the pistol. If he gets a pick, huge, but it's an awful risk. And now utility's flying in. Susp does get the first. He has Fozzy with him on a deagle. It's been a lurk to this B site with the bomb on it. And Fozzy's just about dead to rights here. Nitro sprays him down a little bit messy, but the help from OC keeps him alive. His 2 HP notwithstanding. Up comes Stanislaw next in line. P251. OC trades. Doesn't take any damage on that either. And this round for Wildcard, incredibly disjointed. NRG are winning the aim duels. They haven't really had to go up against a full buy in the first place, though. And strategies like that make it very easy for the NRG team to deal with. And Hex, it's a smart move to just pot shot away, back away, reposition, and toy with Sonic, as there's nothing he can really do in this round to change the fate. And that messy spray might actually open up a door for Sonic here as he pops around the corner, but Hex deals with it in kind. And Automatic plays a little peekaboo with JBA downstairs. 6-1 for NRG on the CT side of Vertigo. And well, one team is going to lose a flawless record. NRG making a good case for theirs to grow to 5.
Yes, they do. Keep it flawless. Susp did have enough for an AK and Kevlar, or actually a helmet as well, but not a lot of utility. Same for Fozy, who saved up for the op to bring it through. Wildcard to be the first team to bring a sniper rifle into the game, or an actual op proper, I should say. They did also bring the first sniper rifle early on in the scout, but that's an aside. OC's been content on the rifle instead. Both he, Automatic, and Nitro have all been doing a lot of heavy lifting. Hex as well has been doing some good work, but it's been primarily Nitro. He's at 10 kills already. The IGL taking over in the early stages of this first map. And again, Wildcard go back to this slow trot, this slow meander, back and forth, showing presence, throwing utility. Issues NRG are getting confident individually. They're going for aggression, which might be their undoing now. Fozy and Sonic find one apiece. Hex is stuck at sandbags with no support. He'll swing for one. The Molotov allows him to escape as well. Very well played. Get himself out of dodge. Nitro on this flank. Good idea, but improper execution. He's instead found by Sonic. And Susp's late activation on the lurk gets control of B. Calls for rotation. Breeze spotted jumping up. Caught as well. Just hexed. Again, he's done well individually, but a 1 versus 3 might be a little bit too much to ask. Might try to find an AK for saving instead. That he'll find. Down at the ramp.
Yeah, he had a few to choose from. I do respect going for the Vulcan, though. Yeah.
The Vulcan or the newest one. Which one is it? Not the newest one. The second to newest. There's the white blue one.
Oh yeah, the one that has like that sort of Victorian era floral pattern on it. Oh, he's going for a ninja?
Okay.
That's an
I
idea.
thought he was hunting. I thought he was hunting.
Then he right clicks that smoke and tries to hop right on the bomb. Maybe he's trying to get him to die to it. That was
pretty close.
Yeah. I don't know. The AK could have been nice to have, though.
Definitely would have been nice to have. I do respect the hustle, though.
Yeah. We get the Opera's duel, though.
Opera's duel. Still good money for NRG. Wildcard. An important second round to really stabilize their T-side economy. X gets the information towards A early on. Lots of utility exchanged at the start of the round.
Yeah, nobody's really taking any damage, though. Just the 3 on Hex and the 14 on Sonic. OC holding middle. Does have support from Automatic. There's nobody really over-engaging, though. It's a very slow round here. The minute mark. Back and forth we'll go. Eight onto JBA, does a lot of damage, and he's going to try to entry up that flash a little bit too early for him to peek. He'll toss in a smoke and try to flash himself in, but Sonic falls in the interim. JBA spotted by 2, taken down by 1. Fozy around side hall, legs OC on the aggressive upper angle. The nade, though, comes through to dunk right on him. Hext is domed by Susp by Susp as well. Stanislaw middle, what a headshot on that Breeze. It's a great flick over. 14 seconds to go, though. Time is running out. Fozy has the bomb, and he is sprinting to B. Will he get there in time? Stanislaw holding, not waiting for the player, not expecting Automatic's creep. Yeah, there's no time, and Fozy's got to save. Another round where Wildcard play too disjointed from each other and lose the plot. That is of big concern for the calling in the mid-round.
Big concern. Time got away from them. Stanislaw's flank. Good idea. Cuts off the rotation entirely, but Again, a little bit too late. Shot here as well from Stan. 7-2. And another tactical timeout used, understandably so. They lost track of time. They had an op that saved, and now he only has 1,600 in the bank. Trying to buy around it. Cracks are beginning to show for Wildcard, and again, it's on their pick no less. Pressure is starting to mount. It's not insurmountable just yet. Still time for them to stem the bleeding and make it a respectable half by most metrics. This is a map where both teams are rather CT-sided, so once they get over on that, so they can be more at home. But of course, they need to have a recoverable scoreline to get there.
That's the most important part. Nouns learned that lesson the hard way. This double stack, Nate. It's going to be hard to dismantle.
Stan can do that. Issue is he didn't spot Nitro being boosted up top. That player's backing away, presumably from being tucked. If he was there a little bit earlier, notice that player doubling back. Maybe he would have expected that boost. Instead, it's just a mixed bag. Susp, I believe, dinked down by an M4 if I had to guess. Falls away now at 4 HP. But X is the one to get the next kill in the round. Finds one immediately traded as well. JBA takes down the young gun of his rival team. Back to a 3 versus 3. Ops are both still in effect as well. The side haul push from JBA, though not expected. He gets a lot of damage, and in fact, the ops shot of OC misses. He'll seize the day, finding 2, 3 total thus far, leaving just Breeze wrapping heaven. Looking for JBA's swing. He does find the first, finally humbling that player, but still a pair to find. And does he expect Susp underneath? Fozy posted on the angle. This is the shot. Breeze doesn't clear the angle deeply enough, and Susp, despite his low HP, will not miss the headshot. 3-7, Wildcard bring things back to a victory on their end, and it looks like we have another pause coming through. This one, though, appears to be a technical issue. And NRG don't have a lot of economy left to go for a buy in this round. Hext, Nitro, and Breeze all cannot get M4s and armor. Might contemplate a save in this round. And a save for last in the half.
Yeah, with 7 on the board already, it's a reasonable save. They can go for an 8-4 or push their luck for a 7-5. We'll see what they decide to do after this technical pause has concluded. But Wildcard definitely still leaving a lot to be desired here. Even if they claw this back to a 7-5, there's still quite a bit that isn't exactly ideal coming from them.
Yeah, worrying signs, worrying underlying issues that do plague this Wildcard team on more than one map. It's their approach to the game, which, again, makes them so solid. It gave them that standout performance on the international stage. Give them that boost to notoriety in North America, but it also can fall apart. It's playing on a nice edge by going slow, by contemplating every part of the map. Saw it get away from them in the round before last. Saw what happens when you don't keep a tight leash on things, don't keep a tight eye on time. NRG, gonna go for the force buy. Technical pause is concluded. 2 M4s on OC and automatic, 2 MP9s on Breeze and Nitro, and a 5-7 for Hext. We've seen that pistol shine, especially for Hext as well. So don't write them off just yet. The question is, how will they play these weapons? Will it be different from their normal style? Sonic, the first. Automatic dropped. One of the rifles dropped as well. Big first to find. Already rotations coming through. Stan could cut this off. He's been so good on this lurk in middle. Perfectly timed swing to catch his rival IGL on the other side. JB8 dismantles the boost with both kills. And Breeze in middle left alone once more. A 1 versus 5. He kills one. Finally seats Stan in middle. But at this point, he's going to try and just survive. This is not a feasible round to try in. And AK in the next round will at least give his team some teeth.
Yeah.
But this force buy of NRG dismantled in round number 11.
That's why I didn't really like the idea of going for a force, because if you lose, and you're almost guaranteed a 7-5, but if you save, an 8-4 becomes more likely. It's just playing percentages there, in my opinion. And Breeze dying makes this one so much worse for NRG going into round 12. Wildcard getting some life. A lot because of Stanislaw. His mid play has been quite exceptional. The way he plays around the mid angles, the different variety of angles is quite good. He's good for at least one. And it almost reminds me of that one map we saw Wildcard in at the tail end of the regular season on Vertigo, Nate, where Stanislaw led the scoreboard for the entire server.
I do recall. Now we take over. It's a power position, a rotation position. Putting yourself at the center of the team as well, allowing them to pivot around you. It's a very hands-on approach to IGLing. NRG scrounging what they can against the 5-7s, a Deagle, 2 MP9s. Stan might just get caught here. He does. Nitro, best sim in that engagement. The AK just can't find the headshot. Sonic and Fozy, though, find 2 kills in response. And this 4-man stack at the A ramp yields nothing. Just an MP9 for Breeze to try and bring things back. He gets 1, but only 1. Nitro in a 1 versus 3. No reason to save. It's the last round of this first half. But a 1 versus 3 with the AK in hand seems nigh impossible.
He'll toss out that Molotov, walk into a crosshair, win the first fight, but he takes way too much damage. He's on 1-shot HP now. As the bomb gets planted, Fozy dodges some bullets and uses the op to finish the job. A great start for now for NRG, as you can see there on the scoreboard, but it did not finish well for them. A slide of a few rounds towards the end means they're vulnerable heading into half number 2. We'll see you all after the break.
strong NRG flourish ends with a wild card resurgence as they bring it back to a very respectable 5-7 scoreline. Still tailing, but by all means recoverable. It's Pineapple Folds and Boggs on the mic, and NRG with a straight walk towards B. Hext finds the opening onto the dually soldier. Sonic tries to recover his team's losses, but it only goes 1 for 1. Stan, quick in rotation, does find one to bring things back to even footing, but he is quickly caught thanks to the flash from OC. JBA and Fozy find themselves once more on the back foot, and they're going to really struggle at close range versus these pistols. USP's not known for their close range prowess. NRG all posted up and ready as well. Very difficult retake ahead of them.
That gives him an opening, though, and Fozy doubles down. Couple headshots, but OC answers with 1. Fozy, though, 3 on the round. And the defuse to boot. No kit needed. He'll get the full 10 seconds in. And that keeps NRG from winning both pistol rounds. But again, Nate, the bomb goes down, and this time it's 4 kills for the T side, which means surely we get a 4 spy. We saw how well it worked for Wildcard. It's arguably more important to win the second round than the pistol. And so NRG, what do they buy? Tech 9 Util Breeze, Hext, Mac 10 Util, Nitro Tech 9 Util, Automatic, Galil, and a Smoke Dropped OC Deagle Util. It's a very heavy utility buy from NRG. Not really focusing on the rifle. Fozy's got an op in round 2 of the half. He doesn't have a helmet. That might not even matter. Sonic's got a good angle, but Susp going down does make it a little bit more difficult for him. That dink forcing him to toss a lot of his utility and back away. There's a lot with that util, though, and Stanislaw around the next corner should be able to do a good amount to hold the line. Molotov takes him down by 40, but his spray will work for 2, and all but a third as Hext is a dead man walking. All JBA needs to do is lob that nade over, but he doesn't want to risk it.
No, he does not. Let Fozy take first contact if he swings back white. Otherwise, JBA will have him dead to the right. Hex is on 5 HP. You don't know exactly how low, but you know low. Swing comes through. JBA is the one to get the kill. Still get away with the SMG. Gives him a bit of extra cash than he would have had otherwise. The M4 not recovered. It was back gen. Communicated too late. Wildcard, though. Get 2 in a row. Shut down the 4 spy. And also tie the scoreline back up at 7 apiece. Fozy still has his op in hand, does not get a helmet, which might be an issue against what is a Glock for OC and a P250 for Nitro.
And a Tech 9.
And Tech 9 also is technically not a one-shot versus helmet, so we'll see what happens. 4-man stack, bottom of ramp. Waiting for the smokes to subside. 1, I believe, down below B. A quick pivot around for NRG. They start towards A. It looks like they might end towards B. Breeze. That B lurk I mentioned catches Susp on a spam through a smoke. Big one defined. Fozy a trade onto Hext, who is lurking now towards A. Even trades, but not what you'd expect when you're going up against pistols for Wildcard.
Yeah, definitely not what you'd expect. And it puts Wildcard into an awkward spot economically, especially if they lose an extra player in this round. Regardless of the situation, if all 4 remaining players survive, Stanislaw is going to be stuck on an MP9. Not going to be great against AKs, and maybe not for OC. JBA, though, takes a dink before he even faces Automatic with a good one. Sonic has to clean up the day, but he only gets 2, as now there's only 2 left standing for Wildcard as the op goes over the side. A heads-up play by the 15 HP Nitro, and the veteran just wants to get rid of that expensive piece. That's massive economic damage dealt to Wildcard, who are going to be on a very meager buy should they contain this round, which they should after spotting Nitro around the corner. JBA puts him down, but the op over the side is the biggest concern right now. And I think they've realized the op's gone.
Yeah, they look around, but they probably know what happened. They should know what happened. It's the veteran call, and of course they were up against the veteran. Math checks out. 3 in a row, but not convincing for Wildcard, as they lose 3/5 of their team, lose the op as well. But at least they have the lead now, 8-7. Still have rifles, but they don't have that economic resilience you'd hope they would. AKs and an op for NRG. I would call it the better buy, especially now that Breeze has found the opening once more at B. Once again onto Susp, who's been bullied thus far on this CT side. There are still 2 defenders, though. He needs to be careful. He needs to be weary of Sonic being down below the stairs. Now Molotov thrown expertly to kind of fake the fact that there might not be a second down below.
It's a very aggressive posture still from Sonic, but as that smoke begins to fade, he elects to move away. NRG, though, starting to run a little bit dry on utility. No Molotovs, just the smokes, a couple of flashbangs, and now no automatic as Stanislav finds him a yellow. This will give a little more of an advantage to Wildcard, as Sonic, if he can stay alive and buy some time for rotations, would be huge, but he falls to Hex as he can take one with him. Fozy only one, as Breeze is right there for return. Stanislav, though, taking matters into his own hands, surges forward. The shot through the smoke reveals OC's position, and Stanislav grabs himself a hat trick, expects the flank, but Nitro, quicker on the draw, spots out JBA as well and wins the fight. The in-game leaders rule the round, but it's Nitro who wins it in the end. And we're tied up at 8 here, moving into the tail end of this one. And Wildcard's economy is completely reset here, giving NRG a red carpet, or a blue and red carpet as the case may be. I would say, before I saw the MP9s come in right before the replay.
Forced back from Wildcard to try and re-establish their lead. Fought very hard to get here. Both teams have IGLs leading from the front. The issue is NRG's comes up short, as you mentioned. Comes up big, excuse me. Nitro gets the double, the 2v1. We saw how these MP9s, the 5.7s, the Deagles can find success in the first half. We saw them win round 2. The question is, how will Wildcard play it? Will they play it any differently? Gonna be the first contact. Spotted over towards B. He's the only defender here as well by miles. No one's even in close proximity. Stanislav is stacking over towards A with the rest of his crew. Susp spotting with the smoke in hand. Fozy ready to nade top ramp. Lots of ideas from Wildcard, but no idea where the take is coming from. In fact, it's coming towards B. Sus. There's the smoke at a perfect time, but the utility still comes through. They're going to execute on to B regardless. Coming through the smoke, no respect. It's Breeze to get the opening. The other 4 are not close, as I mentioned. They're very far away, and will they even attempt the retake? They might just save.
Save and try again in the next round. There's no way they get this retake to work. Oh, actually, with Stanislav getting 1, Fozy's done some nade damage. He doesn't know he has, but at least they might go for exits here. Grab a couple of AKs. That's worth it. It's not worth it to go all in. I'm not sure how JBA gets tagged. I think that was Stan. But I'm not too sure.
Smoking them in.
Yep.
Trying to set up some fish and barrels. But I think they survive at the bottom of the stairs here, regardless.
Mm-hmm. You know, there's a side of fish in a barrel, like shooting fish in a barrel, that I just thought of, Nate. You don't normally keep live fish in a barrel.
Could.
But it's not typical. It's usually salted and dried fish that's packed full. So, not only does the fish theoretically have no room to move, even if it was alive, it's packed full of fish. It's even more of an extreme than I ever thought possible.
Yeah, but I like the imagery of the fish squirming around.
I do too. And I don't know if that's the way that phrase was intended, but it just hit me right now.
For the record, I do transport fish in barrels, just so we're clear.
Like wooden barrels with iron bands?
No, that's a little too archaic. Actually, trying to walk middle.
Uh-oh.
Fozy. Ooh, a whiffed opportunity. The idea for the MP9 was that the timing was near perfect, but there was redundancy. A player top ladder. Bail his teammate out. Sonic trying to play an off angle in middle as well. It's his turn at bat, potentially, if they force this issue. Wildcard at least playing together. This was a force buy as well. I didn't even realize. They bought around it. Once again.
It's Wildcard going for these forces. It kind of ruined a lot of their chances on the T side, which they were able to recover from, but it's a lot harder to get those buys back on the CT side. They have to win this round, essentially, or NRG are going to get to 11 free.
Spot, but too late. Lots of damage on the lineup. But Nitro still gets the kill nonetheless. 3 versus 5 now. These players have been set up, but can they knock them down is the question. OC automatic and Nitro all relatively low. You do have Molotovs and a nade as well to try and stymie this planter, and it will work on the OC.
Get a kill, yeah.
Yeah, OC's at 33. That nade will do it. He's got Molotov in. Hex, though, drops Susp in the meanwhile. The manpower simply is not there, but 20 seconds gives them an opportunity. Hex finds the first, though, and the second was known to be towards heaven. JBA.
Spotted, I think.
Oh, barrel doesn't stick out. Automatic, quick on the trade, though. So NRG secure 10 and likely an 11th, as you mentioned.
Yeah, Wildcard should not force here. Fozy should save for an op. Maybe a P250 for JBA. Susp on a 5-7. I don't hate that. I don't hate the Deagle armor for JBA. It just overall seems like NRG are fully set up for victory in this round, and they're pushing for victory on this map. It's the pick of Wildcard as well. Keep that in mind, folks. And Wildcard have made some questionable decisions, not just in buys, but also in mid-rounds on that T side early, where they've segmented themselves and played very disjointed, and it's coming down to NRG having a big advantage on a map which, on paper, Wildcard have the advantage on. But NRG have looked crisper. They've looked stronger. They've looked more team-oriented, and the decision-making as a whole has been much better.
We liked NRG's CT side. They stuck to their guns. They didn't get antsy.
Mm-hmm.
And antsiness and impatience was really something we harped on yesterday. Neither of these teams played yesterday, but still something we had to really highlight. Even for veteran teams, it can be an issue. Good to see for NRG, it's not. Sonic spotted middle. Hex knows he's on USP. Won't force the issue. Worried about the numbers game there. Smart and wise. 50 seconds left. NRG dawdling a little bit, trying to figure out where Wildcard are stacking, if they're stacking. Automatic, a panic scroll there, I'm certain. Survives the Zeus, doesn't reach far enough. He finds a second as well. Did he expect JBA here on jump up? No. Finally, an inroad for Wildcard and the recoverable weapon. The issue is the B site has been discovered to be empty. Or revealed to be empty, better way to put it. Bomb down. JBA should be saving this rifle. The other two can go for exits. What, an 11th on the board for NRG, basically guaranteed.
Maybe an extra gun here for Wildcard, but that's about all they can hope for. Sonic down around Jenny. Stanislaw all but dead. Backing into T-spawn, being hunted and put down. JBA wants nothing to do with this. He's over at bottom of ramp, holding onto that AK. Quite a nice craft as well there. I like the Tyloo stickers on that.
Like the little buddy on the end.
I can't do the gun buddies, man. I can't.
Automatic crisp on that pair.
That was beautiful. That too.
A little bit more of a gimme on that one, though. 11-8, do or die at this point, I dare say, for Wildcard. They had that up for Fozy, you mentioned being rather necessary. They have rifles surrounding. Okay, utility. Kit on the board on JBA. And Sonic A much-needed pair. He needs to come alive. We talked about him in the day 1 of playoffs, and that round 1 as being a player that's consistent. He's been a little bit quiet on this map, but a double at a critical juncture is a good start towards his return.
Wildcard need every bit of leverage they can get. Fozy doesn't see anything. He'll play a little more passive on side as the stairs smoke will fade, wary of a boost. Expecting it even, and now on the stairs, OC creeping up, caught, and a second shot from Fozy removes Hexed from the round. It's all up to Automatic now, as the Swedish op has hit its stride in the end. Fozy picking up the paces late. Automatic swaps to the big green to try and counter, swings out. That's a crispy shot. It looked like Automatic shot before. He was even on Fozy's screen, but Sonic's right there for the trade. The op will be recovered as well. Keeping 3 alive is big for Wildcard, who cut the gap to 2. But let's see if NRG's buy can stem the tide back to their favor again. NRG so close and yet so far from map victory. And their money starting to run a little dry here. OC and Automatic can buy in the next round if they lose, but Hex, Nitro, and Breeze will be hurting for cash. Of course, the same could be said for Wildcard, but they're in a do-or-die situation anyway, and Sonic gets a freebie on Breeze, trying to get information towards stairs. Not ready for the early contact, and 2-tap Dirt Nap comes in. Man advantage Wildcard. Good amount of time to go, but this is where they can settle in and play a lot more confident. Oh, that's nice. And the second from Fozy again! Doubling up, getting enough time to rechamber with no refrag. This one getting much closer here, unless Nitro and Hex can turn things around, and it's all up to Hex now as Sonic traces Nitro back to the half wall.
Individuals waking up for Wildcard. Double up middle, ensures a quick trade. 3 again survive. And again, it's the individuals. That double from Fozy. That's also the second time he's won the Opera's duel in 2 rounds. He unseated OC in both. Additionally, Sonic finding a pair. Not quickly like he did in the round before last, but still the opener and a second to secure a, what was it, a 4 versus 1. Solidifying the round, I would say. Individuals answering the call at a critical juncture. NRG, as you mentioned, their economy hurting. They're now on a half buy. Tech 9s and Deagles, a little bit of utility sprinkled in. 2 flashes, 2 smokes. I'd like to see a pop player something faster from them on these pistols, but it looks like they're still slowing things down. 3 towards ramp, 2 towards middle. Fozy's op again, looking to be a menace at the ramp.
Stanislaw great T side of mid. Can he do the same? Holding the line this time. NRG taking their time. Hoping for an overextension. They'll go in for a mid-split now, not getting the overextension, but getting a road back in. Sonic has a couple of good shots, and Susp is there to back him up, keeping him alive, but Sonic standing tall on his own individual prowess, all but taking down the next contact of OC. But it's up to Susp now on the B side. Fozy's here to support, and Susp controls that bunking Bronco of a spray to take out Automatic. We're tied into round 22, the penultimate of regulation. And a tactical timeout called by NRG now as they see their potential map victory slipping through their fingers as they try to tighten the grip.
Started off well in both halves. The Wildcard locking in. Again, the individuals waking up. That 3 rounds with 2 Ks from Sonic in a row. I believe it is. He's eclipsed even his IGL now. At 19. NRG gonna go for the buy. Nitro's lacking the AK, but he makes up for it in utility. Breeze has no helmet. Could be an issue. There's no op to rival Fozy either. Not that it really found much success in that role. They can eliminate Fozy early, or at least take him down without losing more than one. Let's say it's an acceptable engagement. Good flash in. Fozy, fearless on top of the very thin rails, is caught. That's what I want to see. An early flash and a shutdown of the Opper. Step one of many required for NRG. They go for a play towards A immediately off the back of that opening at A. Utility thrown in to try and stop the plant, but it already is preemptively countered. Wildcard now down by 2 as Hex Degenerator finds another spamming tag. Stanislaw. NRG found the read they needed to get towards at least overtime. And Wildcard. I think they should go for it, but at the same time, they could contemplate the save. They have enough money in the bank to reinvest, but can't really buy back into AKs.
Yeah, I think you get a couple of exit kills here. You definitely don't go for it now. You don't have time. They're going in? Oh my gosh. There's one. They're gone. They didn't have enough time when they got the first tap of the bomb to get the defuse on.
Trying to keep players there to do as much damage as possible. The economy is not good for NRG. Makes sense through that lens, but they still only got 1 extra kill for their troubles. Series point for NRG. They do limp to at least the finish line. The question is, can they cross it in regulation? 2 Galils, 3 AKs for NRG. Still a full buy for Wildcard in this final round of final round of regulation.
The Galils may harm NRG's chances. The fact that Nitro and Hext have the Galils is a bit of a question mark because they're the 2 highest fragging players on the team by a considerable margin. You'd want to give your players at the top of the scoreboard the best weapon to use. Very slow round from NRG again, trying to bait out the peaks from Wildcard, but they're moving steadily up towards a ramp and an A end. They have 2 smokes to use, the 2 Molotovs to throw on through. JBA and Stan, though, a tough pair ready to receive. Here comes the util, here comes the call, here comes the peek from JBA, back triple, and he goes down, so does Stan. Nitro's Galil gets 2, and Breeze swings for a 3rd. Susp and Fozy walled out on the other side, trying to come on through. Susp gets 1, but Fozy's off unwieldy in this sort of retake situation. Tries to come through, makes noise, knows automatics around the catwalk. Flashed off, takes a shot, tries to survive, but he's run down. All the Susp backstabbed by automatic. And NRG take the map pick of Wildcard by the thinnest of margins in regulation. In the lower bracket of the playoffs, winner moves on, loser is done. And what a performance from NRG at the end there. Took advantage of every inch Wildcard game.
Which is their map pick of Anubis.
Yeah, Anubis is a 14-7 record for NRG. They win 2/3 of the time on this map. They do have a 1-1 record versus Wildcard, which is kind of a blemish if you want to consider it that, but a win. Losses versus Legacy and M80 do make it a little bit weaker. Wins versus Boston Nouns don't hold as much weight as the other 2 teams. Meanwhile, for Wildcard, they have a win against M80 in the last 3 months on this map, but if the last map, Vertigo, was any sort of sign, Wildcard may be in for a world of trouble here on this T side. They try to go on through, and B side's completely overrun by this T side. A dry swing through. That smoke down doesn't really do too much. It walls off the player towards Pizza, but that's about it. And 3 players in canals for NRG trying to work their way back in. Do trade out Susp nicely, but Fozy's there for another tap. JBA on the Hext. Nitro, 1 more, but how many more can he find before he inevitably falls? Automatic, it's 2! Oh. Now they're back into it. Stanislaw versus Automatic, 1 versus 1 here for the round. Stanislaw tapping, buying time with a kit for Automatic, and the kill means that NRG are now 2 for 3 on the pistol. The CT side has won all 3 so far, but the bomb has been down and significant damage has been done. So we'll probably get another force buy out of a T side very early.
Probably will, but the heroes again waking up early for NRG. Nitro and Automatic both getting kills. As you mentioned, though, we are going to see the buyback immediately from Wildcard, and it's even more dangerous than normal. They're completely foregoing utility, barring 2 flashes. And they have an AK on Fozy as well. There we go. I was wondering when they were going to buy some utility, or if they were. JBA and Sonic both sell to buy Mac 10s. Sonic then immediately sells back his utility. Goes for a Deagle instead. A bit of a unsure investment, but an investment nonetheless. NRG, knowing it's going to likely be a force buy, go for rifles once more across the board, barring just Breeze on an MP9. FAMASas and 2 FAMASas, 2 A1Ss, and that MP9. The issue is 1 FAMAS has already been dispatched in middle. It was OC crossing to the right corner, trying to play around as best he can. Called out by a boost early from Fozy.
Hext is next with the FAMAS. The nade will soften up Fozy and give JBA that 1-tap potential. But no further contact happening now. It's a very long-range angle being held by Automatic, and he misses that spray down to half his health as NRG, rather Wildcard, tried to turn on in towards the A side. Nitro 1 and 2. Automatic keeps him alive in the force buy from Wildcard. Only 1 kill. And anything more than that will be a blessing as Sonic's in a 1 versus 4 outside of A. The bomb at the feet of all 4 remaining NRG players. And now they'll spread out again to make sure Automatic can't be working his way in from the back lines. And it looks like Sonic might just try and save this here, which is interesting considering he won't get any loss bonus. And now he's going to run right into Hex.
Trying to turn around. Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, he's running around to maybe catch somebody off, and I didn't think he'd win that duel, but wins it against the AK.
Mm-hmm.
With 10 seconds left, he is going to save the AK. Very interesting call. You mentioned it kind of throws a spanner in the works for the economy. We'll see what the call is. Their decision to force buy more than a couple rounds in that second half of Vertigo did come to bite them. And my biggest question now is, will they force buy around the saved AK because he has such little cash in the bank?
Yeah, it's a big question mark here. Do they force buy around the AK? No bomb plant means it's not going to work very well. Only 2 kills as well. A half buy with a couple upgraded pistols seems to be the call. Fozy saving for the op. Deagle's on Susp and JBA. A P250 for Stan. That AK is going to have to do the bulk of the damage. And for Wildcard, another slow start. How soon can they get a string of rounds together on their T side? That's the big question right now. It's when can they get something going on their weaker side of this map?
When can they?
Mm-hmm. Because things got out of hand on Vertigo.
Interesting how Wildcard is a CT-sided team.
Yeah.
They still chose to start on this T side, nonetheless.
The only map Wildcard's not CT-sided on is Inferno.
This is the map that's notoriously T-sided. They still, keep in mind, they are CT-sided technically, but they chose the T-side. That should tell you how T-sided this map is.
Mm-hmm.
You don't select, even if you are a T-sided team, you don't select T-sided unless it's that T-sided.
They're just waffling about.
So they're going to ambulate over towards B, but 2 defenders here and ready. 25. Gotta make their move. Straight walk contact with Sonic. He finds the opening.
Wow.
Only 1 from Hex. Sonic gets a second. That's 2 rifles dropped, and it can now be recovered. They don't have Kevlar, though, unlike Sonic, the remaining Wildcard players, but the numbers might be enough for them. Lineup for OC. Timing was exemplary. Couldn't have been better. It wasn't Fozy and Sonic misplaying. It was a very unfortunate timing instead. flipping the round back on its head, giving NRG the main advantage once more. Time is ticking, though. It's beginning to become a factor, and there's no one flanking this B main player. The Deagle of JBA is buying more time. The player Plat is spotted, though. That's the information they need. Automatic finds one. He'll now press forward. JBA, though, still provides resistance, finding one. Time now at factor, less than 10 seconds remaining, and they thought he crossed. Nitro does get the kill with the Galil. He will recover an upgraded rifle as well, and the defuse has enough time. But Wildcard made that round look expensive and scary without a whole lot being invested.
And that's all they really could hope for. Bomb plant plus some damage. And they got 3 kills out of it plus the plant. That means Wildcard's buy is going to be much stronger. Sonic might be on a Galil or something lesser, but still, everybody else is going to have a full buy. He'll actually have an AK, just not a lot of utility. The ops out for Fozy. Full buy for NRG, but look at their cash now. Most anybody has is 1,800 on Hexed. Only one other player in the quadruple digits, that's Breeze. Automatic, you can barely call him at triple digits because he's at 150 in the bank. Nitro 650, not much better. This is a swing round. And it comes at a very early junction with Wildcard getting that extra damage in the last round. But Wildcard are playing this very slow again. Very reminiscent of how they played on Vertigo. Trying to goad NRG into these peaks.
It's their style. Through and through. Now, I hate to drag away from this game, but I have to mention it. There is a 13-0 that has occurred in playoffs. Party Astronauts 13-0ing Nouns in the opening map of that best of 3 in the lower bracket as well. That's definitely a statement that I have to mention because you don't see that often, especially not with 2 teams like that.
Yeah.
In fact, if there was a 13-0, I would have said it was the other way around because of how Nouns have been playing and how recently Party Astronauts have had to make changes, but they're out for blood. Speaking of, Nitro is as well. Looking towards A main. Needs to be careful about being caught out with utility. 40 seconds left, though. Time again being burned down low by Wildcard. Smoke thrown B main. One thrown by A main about 5 seconds, 10 seconds earlier. Breeze, though, beginning to rotate as a smoke is thrown in towards this B site. It's more or less hands off here from NRG, nonetheless, in spite of that utility being thrown. Hex, the only one backside, was going to probably fall back after contact, but with a clean shot from Sonic, the advantage has been taken. Bomb plant going down, 10 seconds left, plenty of time to do so. It's going to be a difficult retake for NRG, although Breeze does make it a bit easier with the spam onto Sonic.
OC, though, wins an Opper's duel against Fozy, enabling this retake to come in full force. Nate is a little bit too sus. His spray does a lot to OC, but not to Nitro, who's right there around the corner. Taps from JBA, not connecting, but he does get Breeze. Automatic able to slip on through Temple, but Stanislaw comes up with another one, and 2. Needs the last one. Sprays preemptively. But Automatic again around the corner, winning this B-side retake against Stanislaw in what was a potential swing round. Doesn't work out for Wildcard, but once again, the money for NRG hangs in the balance. And Wildcard can force in, although they found themselves in a trap of forcing on a Vertigo. And it's NRG who call a timeout here. Although you can say the very same about Wildcard needing 1-2. NRG want much cleaner round victories. They need much cleaner round victories for a CT side to be successful. But Wildcard also need the pause to actually get around on the board, because as of now, they've been shut out.
They have done well to get site control, get bomb plants, which means it's only a matter of time, because at this point, with the loss bonus, they're going to have a bye every single round. As long as they continue to get that bomb down. NRG. Still on that brink, but at least they have M4s across the board to complement the up of OC. Automatic has had a tremendous performance in this map. Nitro's had a tremendous performance across the series thus far. The IGL is really going to bat for both these teams, at least on Vertigo. Stanislaw still not doing bad on the second, though. And I'm just going to mention it. It's a very T-sided map. NRG already with 4 might honestly be enough on a map like Anubis. The fact that they're up 4-0, you can get 5, 6 even seems like it might be likely at this point given how well they're playing. It might just simply be enough because of how T-sided this map tends to be.
Yeah, and the thing is, this half is still wide open. NRG can take full control of this. Everything's looking great. As it stands, Wildcard again, hoping for an entry. Molotov in, lands right in front of Sus, but unluckily for him. And the Molotov counter from Breeze forces him back into E-Box. Another one used to keep Susp at bay, allowing Breeze to focus on B main. JBA eats some artillery, and the second one sails through. Automatic with a touchdown pass, drops a dime on JBA. As Stanislaw now takes advantage of some distraction. Great second headshot onto Automatic, but hexed around the pillar can only get one. This allows the bomb to go down and sets up a positive hold for Wildcard. Their first real opportunity in this map to get around. But Nitro's alive, and that's the problem. He's been so good for this team. He's spotted, though. That means OC has to save.
Things looked a little bit dicey there to the very end for Wildcard. They had one smoke and one flash remaining at like 40 or 30 seconds. NRG didn't really need too much utility at that point. They could just play the site. The big key was that double nade onto the back of site, and Stanislaw using that as an opportunity to go for the player at pillar who was then not covered. His 6 was not checked, and that means it was a free one for the IGL, who also gets a double as icing on top of the cake. Finally, cracking the goose egg are Wildcard, one on the board, and they have broken that CT economy. It was a house of cards, as we mentioned. It was consistently being battered. It wasn't broken, but it was battered, and that was enough to set it up for failure should one loss come their way. And how one loss has come. It's going to be pistols. It's going to be a force buy, but a CZ and 3 5.7s to round out the buy with the op versus the full fleet of AKs. They're really going to have to play their cards well, NRG, if they want to find success here.
Op from OC moves away just before spotting a potential victim. And right now, NRG need every pick they can get out of the big green gun. Or that souvenir pink DD Pat, as the case may be. The AK's still alive for now in Wildcard's hands. The pistols of NRG not yet finding anything. Death or life. Leg shot by OC, but he is traced through. Automatic holding down Mouse. One big kill onto the op. That is recovered by Automatic. But for the damage taken, well worth that trade.
Big scalp to find. Automatic, though, has been on a heater on Anubis. The question is, will that heat carry over to the weapon of the op? Still slow for Wildcard, though. 35 seconds left. They're lining up utility for this B take. Smoke onto site. For the site cross long, I should say. But Breeze is the one opened up. Finding one. Doesn't fall either. Gets the information. Hex is still here to support as well. Breeze finally caught. Hex finding his before falling. The round is at least expensive now. Nitro gets an upgrade. They might just save these two weapons for the following. In the same vein, they could go for something. Nitro's actually at B main. He's not expected. He finds one. He finds two. He just picked it up off the ground. I thought he got the kill. I thought he worked for it. But no, it was a surprise factor to find the pair and spot the third low HP player. Stanislaw trying to get ahead of the flash. Gets caught by the op. And the round is stolen away by NRG's force buy.
NRG's force pays massive dividends. It doesn't need the op of OC. It just needs Nitro to have another massive performance. He's been having himself a whale of a series, leading from the front. Looking like vintage Captain America right now. OC gets the op back from Automatic, who used it to good effect. A Wildcard buying back in, but this is looking bleaker for them than it did back on Vertigo. Things are turning completely out of control for Wildcard, and not in a good way. They are having a downward spiral, the death spin that they cannot get out of. What a spray on the second from Nitro. Just what is the answer for Wildcard here? You would expect timeouts to come through, but this team is not using them. Either that means they're trying to save for later, which doesn't really make sense when you're down 5-1 on the T side of Anubis, or B, they feel that there's nothing they need to fix, which is arguably a much more concerning prospect.
When there's nothing you can fix and you're losing like this, that's a rather dismal spot to be.
Yeah. You're getting
Switch it up,
skill
though.
diffed.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you're getting skill diff, basically. A split is the call this time, though, and this is a good changeup. These two are going to be pressured early. Nitro, though, still up close, finds one. OC a second. OC a collateral, actually. Susp does find Nitro. Captain America unseated, but Susp was at low HP. And Fozy is going to struggle to find multi-kills with the op. He did it at the end of map 1. But surely Hex is not expected here. Fozy clearing out down below, spots nothing, doubles back. Won't jump to his death, but still this surprise factor from Hex should seal the fate of this round.
Fozy's instantaneously taken down after finding Breeze, and so Susp, wounded, walks into A. The only question, who would claim his tag? And it's OC. 6 now to NRG in full control of this map. And Wildcard's next round not going to look good. They don't really have enough money for a buy, and a technical pause comes through here. This is unknown how long this is going to take.
Hopefully it's a brief one, but you never know.
Mm-hmm. Comes at a good time for Wildcard, though, as they are dead in the water.
The
No
issue is
engine.
They get a bomb plant.
Yeah.
Even with the bonus of the loss bonus, let's say the bonus of loss, it's a weird way to put it. Their money's not great simply because they can't get the bomb plant. That's what I said at the start of this earlier on when I said Wildcard's only a matter of time before they get around. It's because they were getting bomb plants, because they were going to get close.
Yeah, now they're not.
No, that was nothing.
Yeah, it was just death. And not even the glorious death of a last stand.
No, it was an ugly, is not ignominious the right word? I think it is. Look up words. I have time now.
Yeah. I was going to take it back to a medieval...
No, that's a little bit too aggressive. Never mind.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Chamber Dishonor. Not the best.
Yeah. It's like light cavalry running into heavy pikes.
Deserving of shame or infamy? No.
No.
Humiliating? Maybe.
Not yet. And also not as humiliating as losing 13-0 like Nouns did to Party Astronauts earlier.
Hey, that's still going. Don't forget. That's just
that
the
one's
first
still
map. They
around,
can come back.
They can, but that's still going to sting. And Legacy actually took the first map off M80, Anubis 13-10.
That one was a close one.
But it's the pick of M80.
I think no matter what map for that series, and this one as well, because of the way the map bans work and how the teams are, is going to be a burner.
I agree. Although this one might be burning up for Wildcard on entry.
Might be. When was the last time they played it?
Oh, we're back. Yay.
Go check right now.
Last time they played, not too recently, about a month ago.
For Wildcard, they played it against FlyQuest and lost it. That was at Challenger Atlanta. So, 11 days, or not 11 days, 6 days, wait. The dates are always getting confusing because they're backwards for us.
Yeah, because they're on EU
It was
time.
played 10-6. It was played 10-6.
Okay, so, yeah, 11 days. That's... Breeze got one out of that?
You got
That's
Susp, who's been
impressive.
bullied this whole series.
Susp
He's not
has
had a
also been
chance.
playing on 100 ping, so... Got to cut the man some slack.
Flashing, and a change of pace for Wildcard. Trades, though, still favoring NRG as they found the opening. Pistols, though, at least doing some good damage for Wildcard. It was a half buy, not a full invest. But 7-1, the Brazil scoreline, the infamous scoreline, seems to be an inevitability at this stage. OC self-flash finds them both. Confident ego swings. 10 for OC automatic, 9 for Nitro.
Automatic's 10 and 1 too. He's hopped in the tractor. He's farming.
It is harvest season where I'm at as well.
Same here. And NRG are just harvesting these rounds.
Yeah, I'm keeping 3 up's great for the economy. What's the minimum to keep the economy going in the right direction? Wildcard. Chance at bat now. Op, AKs, good utility across the board. A buy like NRG's. The question is, do they go back to their old style of slowing things down and going for the take it around 30 to 40, or do they speed things up? Good flash in to speed things up. Nitro taken down. Fozy, good assist for Sonic. Is that player you want to get activated? That confident player. Stanislaus, second now lurking in middle. OC stuck up the creek without a paddle, fighting a divided front. Sonic does him in as well. And the change of pace comes through, paying dividends. Hex and Breeze already committing to a save. And Wildcard, a quick second on the board after a long time absent from the winner's column.
It's been a long time since Wildcard got something on the board. But he comes at not necessarily a good time, because there is no good time anymore for Wildcard, but a necessary time. They need to stack some rounds on in quickly. If they can find Breeze as well, that would be huge to damage the CT economy, because he has $50 in the bank. And he's going to go down swinging and keep himself alive. That's a big win for Breeze. Grabs an AK instead, and Hexed falls instead. So 2 surviving, big difference than 1. Hexed will be on a limited buy. No op for OC either. But NRG still have 7 on the CT side of this map.
Do they go for it or do they save?
They have
Good
rounds
save.
to play with, but I don't think they'll save. They
Thinking
forced
they
a
might
situation like this on Vertigo, remember?
They did, but, you know, this map feels very utility-centric. Given how Wildcard play, it feels like you want to have a full belt of utility. I wouldn't hate it. Automatic burning alive. Oh, all the way down to 20. Didn't think the Molotov would spread in the way it did. Still going to fight towards top mid, though, and it will net 1. The issue is Sus dropped Hex before he fell, and Stan dropped automatic, but never count out NRG when Nitro's alive. The captain again coming in clutch, pushing a main this time around, taking the fight to his opponents and finding 2 to swing things back to his team's favor. The final pair now walking middle. Breeze is off angle, belabored spray for 1. Stanislaus trade, but he's now stuck in a 1v2. That jump was perfect. OC, did he expect it? I think he does. Heard the sound cue. Smoke, though, from Stanislaus masquerades the fall back. He doesn't have the bomb, but it is recoverable. They don't know where it is. He's just going to try to give himself as much space as possible. That smoke to cross around. That Molotov to keep Captain America in the choke point. OC has quickly pivoted. He's over all the way through B main. Stanislaus knows it's a possibility, an opportunity, but will he respect it enough is the question. Swinging out, there's the information. Both see each other. 35 seconds left. Still enough time for him to make a play. But no matter where he goes, it's going to be a fight.
Stan has slipped the gap through. Nitro's giving up the space, presumably waiting for OC to group up with him in 2 versus 1 retake. Stan's been good this series. He's going to have to be great this round. The Wildcard are isolated again, and he peeks forward. Nitro's at the right angle. And that's an easy one for the captain. 3 on the round and 8 on the board. Bomb plant will keep Wildcard getting buys. But at this point, Nate, Wildcard have put themselves in a nigh unwinnable situation, even with an 8-4 half.
Even with an 8-4, I would say, even before, it was a very difficult spot to beat. They are a 60-sided team, but 7-5, even a 7-5 for you is hard enough. It's just how Anubis is.
Yeah, it's heavy lean towards the T side.
And again, even though they're statistically favored on the CT side, I don't buy it.
Just to put it into perspective, NRG have a 60.4% win rate on T. Only 53.5 on CT.
Well, it's nearly flip-flopped for Wildcard. They have a, what, 57 on CT, 53 on T.
Yeah, but that's still a bit different. It's almost 54% with the 53.6.
Does not feel the same. Susp, good start. Contact play it towards B is the call. Does catch out NRG. We're expecting the slow, concerted effort. And while this effort was concerted, it was not slow. It was in your face, and it was contact. Rips apart NRG. A good adjustment from Wildcard, but again, very late in the half. It is round 11, and they're making that adjustment. As you mentioned, even with the 4-8, it feels nigh unwinnable.
And even then, the 8-4 is not guaranteed. Saving the op and the AK will give NRG something to work with. They've worked with less and picked up a round. The hunt will be on, but I don't know if it's going to find much. And the thing is, too, the concerning thing, Wildcard have not really taken their timeouts. Just some of the decision-making that they had on Vertigo has carried over to Anubis. And it looks like a different Wildcard from what we saw in the regular season. Even what we saw versus Nouns. We didn't get to see Wildcard yesterday. But it feels like something is fundamentally wrong with the core philosophy they're using right now. They're going back in here. They have to full buy NRG, but I have to have more confidence in them given what they've showcased. Even though Wildcard have the firepower advantage, I'm still thinking, NRG probably have a very solid chance of winning this round. I'm leaning to them to win this round. Just looking at the slow setups again, too. These long defaults.
Back to the poking and prodding. Again, not the biggest fan. Nitro the first. The op of OC gets spots towards middle. Information. Sus spamming the smoke does find Nitro. Getting that trade eventually. Please, though. Through B. Main finds one. Knows it's probably a second up close. Awkward spot for him to be. He'll eventually be caught by JBA. Sus did find Hexed in the meanwhile as well. So Wildcard escaped with the advantage. They still don't have the bomb picked up or planted, though. This late flank from Stanislaw, though, puts a timer on OC. Automatic expected, being held for. JBA still caught looking. And OC now, weary of the flank, looking at the wrong choke point. Stanislaw should have him dead here. Stanislaw picking out, gets the kill. It's all on Audi now. He's at a tremendous map. He has the bomb at his feet. 20 seconds left. This is actually doable. The Molotov is on his belt, as is a flash. He's going to try to play time as best as he can. Nade for the smoke, flash in, they'll swing together, lining up, it's Sus to steal the kill. And Wildcard do manage to net 3 of the last 4 rounds. They do bring it back to a more recoverable scoreline, but this advantage seems to be insurmountable. Can they recover, or will they fall 2-0? We'll see after the break.
A stalwart defense has boosted NRG to an 8-4 lead on Anubis. Heading into the T side, it's Boggs and Pineapple Phillips on the call. Lower bracket round here. Loser is on, winner stays alive, and Sus tries to back away and is found by Breeze. Good entry flash by Nitro, who's been all over the scoreboard. Kills, assists with flashbangs and damage. He's been leading from the front. And NRG with the bomb down already, looking to sweep the pistol rounds on this map. Nitro's heard the steps from behind. 1 and 2. And all that's left for Wildcard is Sonic. And he's not going to be long for this world.
No chance. Caught by Breeze. The aggression and the confidence from NRG is insane. Smoking towards Temple and then planting for and playing in long, knowing that USPs could be there very shortly, take the ranged fights and have the advantage, but nonetheless going for it is a very solid play that works out flawlessly. And of course, the individuals simply hitting another level for NRG. This feels like the death nail of this second map and this series. Pistol round taken, a massive lead, over double your opponent's score as you enter the favorite side of this map, which, by the way, is your map pick. Everything's stacking up NRG right now. And Wildcard going for the save, giving away 10 in essence.
Yep. And that, only 2 for Nitro. I would have expected a little more about the way he's been playing, but numbers do work. Only for a moment. Relatively clean mop-up. No rifles lost as the MAC-10 swaps over to a Galil. 10-4. NRG. Smooth down the highway, hitting cruise control right now. And Wildcard have basically no room for error. They have to win this and string a few together before they can even think about letting one slide. And they don't even have the op for Fozy on the CT side. Just M4s across the board. No kit, Nate. Not one diffuser. And the utility's weak, too. OC's tagged, but that lack of a kit, that is something to really keep in mind as this round draws down to its conclusion.
Your post plant becomes far more unlikely. Automatic point man over towards the main, swings out, knows they're probably playing this contact play. Doesn't get the opportunity to, though, doesn't hit the shot, rather. And it's a shutout towards the A site, leaving just this low player in OC alone. 2 HP in a 1v4. Probably going to go down sooner rather than later. It was the bonus. There he goes. Sonic finishes what he started. But yeah, Wildcard, I'd say at least 2 or 3 rounds. They need to fully break this economy at minimum to come back in this one. Simply because of how disparate the scores are. And again, because of the reality of this map. I hate to keep harping on it, but this has been a statement from NRG on this map. A statement of a series, in fact, this late in playoffs. As we mentioned, there's only 6 teams remaining, 2 in the upper bracket, 4 in the lower. There will be 2 teams eliminated tonight. One of these 2, and of course, one of Party Astronauts and Nouns. So tensions are high. NRG, a team that always failed at that final hurdle. Always got to the cusp, but couldn't get across the line. Looking to make a very solid statement against one of the top 3, in my opinion, in this ECL playoffs bracket. OC. Good start. It's actually a half buy from NRG as well. I expected. He has an AK in hand. He'll get 1 before falling. But he and his compatriot will get traded. 3 versus 4. Automatic might be able to secure that upgrade. On he does. Minute left. And disadvantage for NRG, but could still pull something off.
It's about damage right now from NRG. Get a bomb plant if you can, but do some damage. Take guns out of the hands of Wildcard. And Automatic crossing into the open. Lucky to get out of there with his life. He's the only armored player left, so that does hurt a little bit more, given he has the AK. X down, Nitro down. Automatic joins him in death. And Wildcard keep 4 alive, grab a couple of AKs, and look to move forward through this CT half, which they cannot afford to blunder on. Full buy from NRG, but to be honest, Nate, a timeout from them here would not be a bad idea, because you win this round and you put Wildcard back to the drawing board. You shut down this momentum, you stymie the advance, and then you move 1 away from guaranteed overtime, 2 away from the series. A lot rests on this round, and OC has nothing but a deagle. Automatic's on a Galil. And Wildcard are gaining confidence, which is the scarier part. I like this call from Wildcard.
Good flash in, but missed opportunity for Nitro. Rare miss. Molotov doesn't go into the corner. Sonic will put it out anyway. Advantage secured, and I do like the aggression as well. Spam is just so timely, though, from OC. What looked like a solid getaway and reposition. It's ripped away from Sonic. Automatic lurked up middle as well. Stanislaus weary of it, but again, it's all down to timing in that department. Even footing, but that normally favors the T side of the equation. I'm still at least leaning over towards A. Perhaps an A split on the cards. Wildcard holding from the stairs into sight, and from heaven, Fozy watching A main.
JBA, first contact, domed by Hexed, keeping the man advantage for NRG. Flash in to peek through. The op is here, but Automatic might just find it before they run on in. A missed shot from Fozy will kick a field goal, but allow Automatic to get the free kill. And now, the most worrying part of this all, Nate. Wildcard have to save to maintain a strong bind to the next. And NRG move to that 11th. That potential situation. 1 away from guaranteed OT. 2 away from staying alive in the playoffs and moving forward. Has been gained. And they didn't even need a timeout. They didn't even need a full buy. Yeah, the Galil counts mostly. The deagle on OC was a worrying part. And it still worked out perfectly.
Yes, it did. Like the late mid flank. Coming through. Look out for Automatic. And now Wildcard will throw their guns into a pile and see what everybody gets. 2 rifles across the board. Fozy still has his op. Stan has an AK. Again, NRG just feel a cut above.
Just a cut above the rest. The nade, though, will soften up OC and Nitro, 2 top performers for the NRG side of things. Nitro, though, continues his stroll through the canals. Moving towards E-Box, utility prepped and ready. Launches that out, and I believe his Molotov got extinguished in the smoke. It did not fade before he tossed that in. Bit of a missed opportunity there. And Canal's control is going to be at least re-attempted for E-Box with that smoke. Nobody there that they found. They don't trust it. But NRG working around the map, looking for their inroads, looking for their information. Still have yet to decide on a spot, but it seems like they are going to hinge over towards B now as we tick under the 50-second mark. This duel against Susp all but determines how at least the early fight is going to go.
Will walk towards B now. One splitting late. Splits have worked out. Smoke in. 3 here. 2 towards E-Box, though, rather crammed. Breeze finds the first. Sus now distracted. It's actually Nitro to win the fight outright. Stanislaus rotated in, but it's only good for 1. They're already going to save, if I had to guess. Fozy and JBA. Yep. Fozy stops in his tracks, looking for exits, looking for some sort of semblance of a victory. Even if it is hollow. 12 for NRG. 6 map and series points. And nothing but statements from this team as everybody's hitting their shots. Hext is quiet, which is ironic. Again, the Caster's Curse does come into effect. But a victory is a victory. And your IGL, fragging as Nitro has, instills tremendous confidence.
Yeah, I was going to say, Hext hasn't had to do all that much. Nitro has been an absolute monster. Not just on Anubis, but also on Vertigo. Had 22 kills, I believe, at the end of that map. And that was a 13-11. He has 18 now, and it's 12-6. Match point for NRG. Wildcard on the brink of elimination, and their buy is rough. Around the edges, it's a bargain bin purchase. 3 MP9s, an op and a deagle. That op of Fozy has not done much. Sonic, good for a 1.0 KD, but not much more. Nobody from Wildcard having a standout performance on this map. And the individuals that took a while to heat up on Vertigo have not quite heated up. Now there's one from Fozy. On to Hext, a good start for Wildcard as they need 6 in a row to battle back into this series. Stanislaw, though, aggressive out middle. Can he find something besides a swift trip to Hades? Yes, he can. An upgrade on top of it all. And a little bit of aggression working out for Wildcard here as desperation seeps through this team.
Yes, it does. The kick in the pants Wildcard needs to come back. For now, I still think of it as a blip on the radar. Nitro's still standing. OC's still standing. Breeze still standing. These 3 with automatic have been the ones doing the lifting. Nitro pops the smoke. Swings out for himself. Gets 1, albeit taking lots of damage. Breeze a second from main. Back to even footing. Stanislaw on the site's going to be tested. He gets the first. The low HP player gets spotted in turn and knows where they both are, but he has to get the kills. A second for Stanislaw. A third for Fozy. Holding the cross for Breeze. And so, Wildcard show us they aren't quite done yet. I'm not sure if this is an actual tactical pause or not. It says 0 out of 3. The timer's stopped. If I had to guess, it might be a tech pause or a glitch on the HUD. Oh, it is a tech pause. Sonic's gone.
Yep. Tech pause here.
That would be an issue for a tech pause, yep. Matt does check out there. NRG, though, still not broken economically. Gonna buy. They're going to make some concessions. Automatic on a Galil. Nitro might go for one as well to get max utility. But no round can be taken for granted given how strong NRG have been.
Yeah, there's a 1 off from Wildcard. They need to make it a 2 off, a 3 off, a 6 off. They are up against the brink. That's the most important part. How much of this is replicable? That opening kill, you're not going to get every single time. You're definitely not going to get Stanislaw winning a smoke fight every single round. He does great from plat. This is more replicable. But overall, Wildcard had to rely on a couple big individual plays early to even put them in that situation. And NRG battled it back to a 3 versus 3 from that point. They're in every single round. And Wildcard, utility is a little light. They do have kits on everybody. They can't really let it go to a plant. Their money is not strong enough to sustain this. It's the economy, not where you want to have those kinds of circumstances.
No, it's not. Hex mowing up, but again, not challenged. Lots of utility thrown by Wildcard to feign aggression. But no aggression actually comes through. Nitro and Hex know this. It's their turn to take space. Minute left in the round, and a lean towards A is on the cards for NRG. Bomb is outside of Rugs. It's mid play, though. Fozy's trying to hold it. Going to be smoked off here momentarily. gets ahead of it.
Oh.
He has 2 players to worry about, so singularly focused. He's dispatched. Breeze wants a big scalp. JBA knows he's going to be pressured here shortly. Flash in, JBA caught, and Stanislaw is as well after finding 1. 2 versus 4 for Susp and Sonic. No saving grace now, no possibility for a save. If they lose this round, it's over. And they'll group up towards middle, but they're smoked off. And again, they're down by 2 men.
Down by 2 with a flash-free retake utility. And up against 4. Sonic. Entering in first has Breeze around the corner. That's a great headshot from Breeze, and he'll follow it up with another onto Susp. And it's NRG who eliminate Wildcard smoothly across this series. 2-0. NRG move on to fight another day in Wildcard after making Pro League last season, and ESL Challenger Atlanta are removed in the 3rd round of the lower bracket and go out with a bit of a